Hello everyone and welcome back to Gerad Riester YouTube channel where anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Today is day one, episode one of a new series that I'm going to be doing, which I tentatively am calling Advice for Young Pilots or New Pilots. Relatively new pilots, we'll say. I'm not talking, pre-solo students, PPL students, commercial students. I'm talking those people, but also folks that maybe you've got all your ratings, you're all the way up to commercial, CFI. Heck, you might have even gotten your 1,500 hours, and you're ready to get your ATP, or you just got your ATP. If you're taking offense at me calling you a young or a new pilot, this video is for you. But today what I'm going to start off with is advice for people who arguably have the most important job in aviation, CFIs, because they teach the young pilots that are coming up. They teach everybody. They're the ones, unless you go through the military training, which is sort of a different animal. But they teach the guys coming up. They pass on their good and bad habits. They pass on their prejudices and attitudes. And if you think that your student isn't hanging on every word and paying attention to every action, verbal and nonverbal communication that you do, you're thinking wrong. It's a huge responsibility, and some of you folks out there, you only got 300 or 400 hours. It's no small thing, but in the grand scheme of things, you've still got a lot to learn yourself. So my first piece of advice is to remember that. Remember that you're still learning, but guess what? We're all still learning. I've got 7,000 hours, guys with 10,000, 20,000. There's still new things to learn. You learn every day. If you stop learning, you're going to possibly put yourself in a situation where things might go bad. So remember, you're always learning. Remember, you don't know it all. You can learn from your students. Everybody's got different perspectives, different places that they come from. I have learned from people who weren't pilots but were on board the plane, other crew members, etc. It doesn't matter. You can learn from many different sources. So be open to that. Approach your students, but I will argue through this series that one of the most important qualities of a pilot is humility. You need to be confident. The two are not mutually exclusive. If you didn't have some level of confidence, you wouldn't be strapping that plane on and going and flying, because it's inherently risky. But you also need to approach aviation with humility. I'll get deeper into that, but for now, humility with your students. Again, that goes towards listening. It also, learning from them. Also go towards listening to them. Listen to your students. And this applies in several different areas. So listen to what your student needs. What are they asking you? What are they really asking? I have run across instructors who they start answering the wrong question. They're not answering the question the student's asking, because we all do have our own prejudices and preconceived notions. And with that, tailor your instruction to the student. It's incumbent on you as an instructor to adapt yourself to how your student learns. Yes, the student needs to adapt too, but you're coming from a much stronger place to do so, and it's your job to teach them. They are hiring you. They are paying you. They don't exist to help you build flight hours. They don't exist to provide you with a paycheck. Unless most new students, they got the least money. and they don't work for you. You work for them. You work for the student. So work for your student. Work hard. Try to help them, which most of you do. Let me back up a little bit. This is not a criticism. Again, you guys are out there doing the hardest job, least paid job in aviation, in some ways the best job, and in many ways the most important job. And I've run across 99.999% of the instructors I've run across are absolutely phenomenal. And but even you that are phenomenal, as I previously mentioned, you've got learning to do. So that's what this is offered in the spirit of is learning, not arrogance. I'm not saying I know everything either. I'm just offering an experienced perspective. So going back to your students, you work for your students, listen to them, be humble. Many of us are aware of the instructor who was posting on TikTok and belittling his student, and he got them both killed. And that did inspire the thought years ago, or whenever that happened, that eventually led to this moment here where I'm speaking to you. But again, that's not most of you. But maybe each of us can find a small piece of that guy in each of us, and we need to get that out of us. So without going on too long, I'll just say, listen, be humble, and try to adapt to what your students' needs are. So, I mean, again, it's difficult, but a few other pieces, professionalism. Again, y'all are very professional, but many of you may not be coming from a situation where you've got a lot of experience in sort of a professional environment. You've just been students this whole time, and now you're teaching. So, some other things are, be the first one at the plane if you can. You may have a student right before that one, and it just doesn't work. Focus on your student, but if you got another student coming on, let them know that, hey, you're still working with this guy. We'll get to him in a second. Just again, courtesy, professionalism, respect your student, respect each other. Really, I mean that covers it. Respect the environment, and that's again where humility comes into it. This will be my advice for everybody, not just your new instructors or all instructors. Respect the environment. Arrogance, complacency are what kill you in aviation. So know your limits, know your students' limits, know the aircraft's limits. Slow down, be humble when it comes to the limitations and capabilities of your airplane, and the limitations and threats that the environment poses. I'm here in Utah, of course. Environmentally, we got some hard pieces of ground that stick way up in the sky, which we all know to respect. But I think it's easy to get complacent because you deal with it all the time here. So that's an example. Remember that the environment that you're flying in, the Part 61, even Part 141 training environment, you do the same thing day in and day out. You get really good at doing that same thing, but there's a lot more out there. So one, beware of complacency when it comes to the things you do day in and day out. It's hard, but try to treat every day, every new flight, like it's the first. And then the other thing is, bear in mind that your experience is unique to your environment, especially if this is the only school you taught at, the only state you've flown in. There's a lot more out there, so just be aware and try to educate yourself on what the differences are. There's a lot to aviation. It's a big world. And it's, at least to me, it's fun to learn about the different aspects of it. So that's it. A heart for learning, and the humility to listen to your student, your environment, your aircraft. Hopefully I wasn't too repetitive there. Definitely, again, I'm not talking down. This is coming from a place of respect, a place of caring, and I hope to see you out there flying. It's my favorite thing to do. I do it for work. I do it for fun. I read about it when I'm not doing either one of those, or watch videos on it. Yeah, I think many of you are the same way. So yeah, I hope to run into you out there. Again, at the Gerad Riester YouTube channel, don't forget, anything that's worth doing is worth overdoing. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment. I would love to see your comments and start a dialogue with some of you out there, and talk about my favorite subject of aviation. Thank you again. Have a great day. One other important thing that I left out, that I should probably talk about here. Some of you who have come across this are probably asking yourself, who's this guy and why should I listen to him? Which are perfect questions to ask. Consider the source. So this is not bragging. I'll just give you a little bit of my background, so you know where I'm coming from, and why I feel like I have something to offer in the way of advice. First of all, I will acknowledge again, I mentioned I've got about 7,000 hours. So there are many people with more time than me. There are a reasonable number of people with less time than me. But I'll talk about my experience as well. So I started out in aviation. I was born into it. My dad was a corporate pilot. He was an Army pilot. He was also an A&P and maintained his own aircraft. So I grew up at the airport, and it was in my blood from day one. I went to the Air Force Academy, commissioned in the Air Force, started out in aircraft maintenance, and then fought for the opportunity and finally got it to fly in the Air Force. I flew the C-17 and U-28 in the Air Force. Accumulated about 1,400 combat hours, and then retired. Flew freight. Started out in the 747. I won't talk about companies here, but U.S.-based freight companies that fly 747. There's a limited number, so you might be able to guess. I was a captain on the 747, flew it for 5 years. That's the airplane I have the most experience on. In fact, at one point I had more experience on the 747 than I had on all other aircraft combined. Then I went on to another company and flew freight, flying 757 and 767. And then I started my own small flight school called Riester Brothers Aviation. And that's what I'm doing now. So I've flown to 63 countries, 6 continents. I've flown in the worst weather in the world. I've spent more time flying internationally than domestic. And of course, I mentioned, the combat, of course, that too. So that's it. I love GA. I have a passion for GA. I co-own a couple of airplanes, 2 310s and a PA-22 Tri-Pacer. Yeah, so that's it. That's me. That's my background. I hope, well, if not giving me credibility, you know where I'm coming from, and you can make your own decision on whether or not you listen to me. So again, welcome to Gerad Riester YouTube. Thank you. One more thing I wanted to add, and this may be a regular thing, it may not be. This is not a by nature religiously oriented channel. It's about airplanes, cars, model planes, many other things. But I would be remiss if I didn't give glory to God. He's done great things in my life. He continues to do great things in my life. Above all, God is love. If you're not loving each other, you're doing it wrong. So go out there, love your fellow man, help your fellow man. God is good.